3-strand I use 3-strand real manila rope. You can find it at your Lowe's. Sometimes I get mine at Ace Hardware store in my little local town. But you use real rope in this setting, and so I use it in here. Each one of these strands, I number them. The center one is number 1, the one on the left is number 2, then the one all the way to the right is number 3. And it's imperative you keep them in order. So what I'll do is number 1, I've already fed it through. I made a hole and I have it through there. Now I'm going to take number 2. I'll spread this apart so you can see it a little better. It's going to go over one and under the very next one. Just that simple. Then you kind of roll it over. This one is a little harder, but you only have one available. So you simply go over and then under. The back side is the easier one. And you kind of tug on them, keep them a little snug. And there you have your very first splice done. Now we're ready for number 2, and you go back to number 1. You simply go over and under. Number 2, same thing. You only have one you can go over, and you go through right there. Number 3, you go over one and under the very next one. Now, what I like to do is kind of like a praying mantis. I do that, and what that does is it snugs up your knots. And I go through 3 times, and I'm ready to go through the final one. I just spread it apart and push 1 through. I come over here to number 2, push that through, and keep them snug. And then number 3, the same thing, under and over it and under it. And there you have the one eye splice for the handle. And I simply repeat the process. You can measure. What I always do is I'll stick this in here, and I know this one's already going to work because I already measured it earlier. But if you look, here's my marks. I want the rope to fall down about midway below the top bands. And that's where it's going to end up. And when it'll be done, you'll have a bucket completely eye spliced, and the rope handle will be good to go. I just trim the excess off, and then of course then I take my tape off. And that's how we rope a bucket at Souter Village in the Black Swamp Cooperage.